just opened a dialysis center specifically for children. And that, to me, speaks volumes about the need for healthy foods, healthy diets. My name is David Manuel. I am the foods coordinator for the Red Lake Local Food Initiative. We really want to make available the foods that we grow available to our tribal membership year-round. That's quite a big task. Our initiative is working on a number of things. One is the production of vegetables. The other is training tribal members to become actual food producers, and also to get a mobile farmers market up and running, accessing those funds so that we might be able to provide that access to healthy foods to all our tribal members and all of our core communities.
The Good Food Access Fund is designed to be flexible. It's designed to help communities create their own solutions, supporting entrepreneurs that can create either one, cultural context, geographic location and proximity, and then this notion of ownership, right? When we think about Red Lake, the notion of sovereign nations having a history of being close to the earth and being able to find greater ways to access that closeness to the earth and then own that production and that growth, I think the Good Food Access Fund allows the Native community to be able to identify opportunities, create entrepreneurial strategies that allow them to keep that sovereignty in a way where they have that complete ownership from start to finish.
My name is Rhonda, and I live at Parkway Gardens in St. Paul. There's a market a couple of blocks away, but maybe they have an orange or a banana for 50 cents. It's mostly just convenience junk food. Most of my friends use walkers, wheelchairs, so sometimes it costs extra money to take Metro Mobility. Families, they're kind of busy, they don't take everybody shopping. The mobile market for some people is the only food we get.
The Good Food Access Fund allows communities to be innovative and really think about how the community can be a part of creating solutions to support and solve, right? The notion of mobility then allows the concept of a mobile market where groceries, fruits and vegetables, meat products can actually come into a community where we have our elderly and those who are sick and shut in potentially, but as well as that same strategy accessing rural Minnesota. There's over 340,000 Minnesotans who are not accessing healthy foods in their local community. The families are traveling over 10 miles to access food, which creates a barrier, not only for health outcomes, but for economic outcomes. And the other part is that we think about the entrepreneur, that small business is the backbone of America and is the backbone of Minnesota. And so we have local grocers and other operators who are providing healthy food who are struggling to stay afloat.
December of 2015, they were actually going to close the store. And I was approached by a lot of the people in the town to try and see what I could do because they figured it might be a good fit. And that is some of the things that I wanted to bring into the town was more fresh produce. Fresh meats with the deli department. I cut my own steaks, I do my own chops, I do my hamburger. With that, I'm also working with a lot of the smaller farmers per se, like farmers market, really pushing to get the fresh vegetables, even more so than getting it from my vendor where I can actually get right out of the garden fresh. Back in 1998, when the tornado came through, they had to rebuild the store, and the gentleman that owned the store had to put in used equipment. So from 1998 to 2017, everyone that's been running the store has been using the same old used equipment, and it's not cost effective and it's falling apart. And when I took over the store in February of 2016, I had one of my freezers go down, and I've spent my money even out of my own pocket just to try and keep it running, which now it's down again. And this is where the fund from the Good Food Access Fund, this is what the money will be used for, to work on that, to work on the lighting, cooling systems, everything in the store that is so old and outdated, but without the ability to have the good food access available to the rural grocery stores myself. that's some of the costs that's would actually make a store like this fold.
The Good Food Access Fund can help Mike in a couple of different ways, right? If Mike needs to create greater access by having more energy efficient refrigeration to reduce his margins to allow him to access better fruits and vegetables, that's one way the Good Food Access Fund can support him. The other way is thinking about if he's the only local grocer in the region, providing him technical support or small business advisory services that allow him to map out opportunities to grow his business and find alternate ways to really get healthy fruits and vegetables to the folks nearby.
Getting, assistance with the Good Food Access to be able to, get newer equipment in here to make, to try and cut some of the costs, then I can bring back more things, for the community.
We would need the Good Food Access Fund to help us access funds for a truck for our mobile farmers market, and providing that would just strengthen our program and in turn our nation and tribal members to think healthy, be healthy, and act healthy, and have a good life.